This is Jorge from Mexicali Fish Keeper. I know it's been a long time since I've done anything in my fish room. Most of the content I've been doing lately is because I've been out and about. But today is just a quick view of what the fish room looks like in its current state. I've kind of been away from the fish room for about a month and a half. Well, since my grandkids got here. You know, one of the things is obviously, you know, I don't get to see my grandkids on a daily basis, so we ended up picking them up, had them here for about a month and a half. We're getting ready to take them back home. And one of the deals that I have on my wife was that I wouldn't be doing anything in the fish room because I wanted to spend more time with the kids. So between working and, you know, trying to do some quality time with the limited amount of time we got, well, you know, it just kind of, sometimes you got to put things aside and take care of priorities. I'm not saying that my fish room is not necessarily a priority, but it's more of the aesthetics, because one of the things I did continue to do was, you know, I did some water changes, but I haven't really done any full deep maintenance on it. And I just kind of want to show you the current state of the fish room, because it's not always glitz and glamour that we have. I mean, this is the reality of a everyday functioning fish room. When you have something splashy water on me, when you have look, well, I don't know what that was, but one of the fish definitely jumped up and trying to call my attention. You know, it's just one of the realities that, you know, life happens, and as much as we appreciate our fish rooms, you know, there's other stuff that's a little bit more important. Obviously, the fish are not neglected, they're not being abused, but it's not in the shape that I would normally have this place looking like. So let me show you. I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of walk you through. It's going to be the ugly side, or the ugly look of the fish room, a fish room tour of a neglected fish room. Hold on. Okay, so I'm standing here in my doorway where I normally come in. You guys have seen me come out of here, and immediately you can see there's just, you know, hoses everywhere. I've got the swamp cooler running, trying to keep the temperatures a little bit lower than usual, and I've got another fan that you can hear running here. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I've got the air with the moisture coming out of there that's a little bit cooler, hits in here, swings it around, and it kind of blows around the fish room. You can tell because even the pot that's down there is kind of swaying in the breeze. Downside of that is I tend to have a lot of evaporation, to the point where if I go almost a week without coming in here, I can lose about 3 to 4 inches of water in this, and this is a 75, and basically it would be like a 20% water change every week just by me topping it off. You can see the 150, how much evaporation this has in there. You can see, I mean, I topped all of these off yesterday, and you can already see the ones that have more of the direct breeze blowing through them. It's causing that evaporation. Here I still have the one surviving fry from when I left to go pick up the grandkids, that I had a clutch of angel fish eggs in there. I actually turned out to have a survivor. He was a really nice surprise. I don't think I'm going to be able to see him. There he is. So he's kind of been in there growing out by himself. You can see my this pair of angel fish are doing fine. Unfortunately, this is the female, her partner passed away. I don't know if it was age or something, so I've taken 2 of the younger fry that I had and put them in there, see if these guys will pair off, and I can continue to have angel fish. If not, then I'll have to look for a proven pair. I do have the group that is down here, and hopefully out of those guys, they're starting to get to a size now where they might be able to pair off, and I'll start pulling some pairs out of there. But it's just crazy because these are all the same clutch, and you can see the growth difference from that guy to some of these other guys. And you can see the goldfish that Jeff sent to me. They're doing fine in there. Eventually those guys will be, I think this one is actually going to become the goldfish tank. I'm in the process of, and I know I've been saying this for a while, but it's something where I do need to do, is rearrange some of these aquariums. This whole entire rack here is going to go away, and I'm gonna open it up. And you know, I'll probably still have this section here will all become my breeding projects, and the section over here where you have that 300 on the ground, that's going to be all the display, and maybe that other wall down over there, which I got a ton of stuff to get rid of. So that's kind of what's going to happen. That 300, I decided to give it to a friend of mine. I'm not going to deal with it. Problem is, I would love to have it, but I don't have a way. The reason it's still there is because ever since I moved it in here, I haven't been able to get somebody to help me move it. And that's the problem with the big aquariums. That's one of the things that, as much as people love to have the big aquariums, I'm finding out that it becomes a task to try to move them. I got to do some repairs on them. I haven't been able to do it because I got to turn it on its side to be able to get into it and work on it. And that hasn't happened. It's been sitting there for about 8 months now. It's not going to happen. I'm gonna give it to a friend of mine that's got the shop that I toured a while back with all the wood. He's going to take that. He's got some plans for it. I'm just waiting for him to pick it up. So what I got to do is reconfigure my setups so that all these 4-foot tanks are going to become display tanks, and everything else smaller than a 4-foot is going to be breeding aquariums. So there'll be some changes, but here's, you know, some more of the stuff you can see. I got all kinds of stuff on the floor. I haven't been able to clean in here. I had a big old fern that was sitting up there that started dropping all its leaves because it really started getting too dry in here, and I've moved it indoors. The only one that's doing well right now is this plant, but because it's down low and a lot of humidity, it seems to be thriving. I'm going to leave it there. All the other plants that are in water, you can see I just filled this up maybe about 3 days ago, and it's already, the water is all consumed out of there. And then the pothos, you can see it, that is starting to put out new shoots. This one's going gangbusters. You can tell the temperatures get a little hot and dry because you can see some of the leaves kind of cinching on it. And here's the current temperatures, time, and everything. You guys can see it's 1 o'clock. It's 41% humidity in here. The reason it's so much humidity is because I don't put tops on any of these aquariums, because I try to use evaporative cooling. And if I were to put lids on these things, they would get really, really hot. Let me see where my temperature gun's at. But anyways, you can see the fish room sitting at 93 degrees right now. It's midday. Today happens not to be a very hot day. I think we're only looking at maybe, here's my temperature gun. You can see the chaos. I got stuff everywhere. I mean, I really got to do some work in here, which I'm probably going to start doing right now. But anyways, let me show you what the temperatures are currently in the, you see that's 91 degrees. Obviously the lower you go, a little bit cooler. That's 89. 86, because this is a little bit more in the path of the, well, 87. So as you can see, the temperatures are pretty high. I was watching a video today from the Jungle Nook, and it was really interesting because he was talking about what it's like for him in the early spring, and he had snow out on the ground. And one of the things that was interesting to me was the fact, let me turn this around. One of the things that was really interesting to me was the fact that he was saying that he doesn't run heaters in his fish room. And I know this is something that people are constantly debating about, you know, temperature ranges and whether fish will die or not die. I mean, I'm not making up the temperatures in here. Let me put this on the stand. Yeah, anybody that's been following me for a while knows that my temperatures out here in Arizona tend to elevate. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say the fish room gets into the mid 90s, I mean, not the mid 90s, but the upper 90s. And then I run my aquariums really, really hot. I mean, you can see them behind me. You can see them on the tanks that are next to me. As I was walking around, you see what the temperatures are. They're exceeding the recommended temperature ranges, and the fish are doing fine. What happens is probably I'm shorting out their lifespans because their metabolisms do speed up, but how much am I really shortening their lives? Now in the winter, it's the opposite. But being that we're in Arizona, we don't have to deal with very cold temperatures. Getting back to the Jungle Nook, what he was saying, what I really found interesting is that he has his fish room, which he doesn't have any temperature control in it. And he says outside it was like in the 50s or something like that. There was still snow on the ground. Let me put it like that. And he was taking temperatures of his aquariums, and they were in the 50s. And some of them still had fish. Other ones, you know, he had some live tanks, I guess, because he was doing, I guess, the father fish thing where you go gather, you know, the jar or whatever, the life, I don't know what he calls it. But he was doing that in his aquarium, and prior to the temperature dropping, he was showing some videos of where he had all these organisms in there. Well, he's kind of running experiments in his fish room, which I really love, because that falls right in line with what I am doing here. As you guys well know, I tend to do things a little bit different, and not necessarily by aquarium standards, because I got to be prepared to the worst case scenario. What happens if I lose power? What happens if the temperatures get so extreme? If I have a malfunction of a ambient control temperature unit, you know, anything like that, because it's a reality of the temperatures that I live in, what's going to happen? My theory as to why the fish are able to stay in those ranges is because there's no major swings in temperature. What do I mean by that? Well, as the temperatures heat up, it's constant, and there isn't a big influx or change in the evenings. We tend to stay pretty regular when it comes to our temperature swings. There's not a big swing of up and down. When it gets hot here, it's hot. I don't care if it's in the morning, night, or evening. In the middle of the day, it's going to be hot regardless. So you don't have a big swing of temperatures where they go from really hot to really cool, really hot, really cool. It's just hot, 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 less hot, less hot, 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 just constant. And it allows the fish to adjust. Taking that idea and applying it to what the Jungle Nook was saying, I think it's the same thing when it goes the other way around. You see, I've always been worried that if my temperatures drop below 65, that I'm going to have an issue. I've never really allowed that to happen. I do run a small space heater in here, and I try to keep it at 70 degrees, which translates into the aquariums being around 67, 68, depending on where they are in the area. And I noticed that they slow down a bit, but it's not going to be a problem. Seeing that he's been able to take them down to the 50s and still have live fish in there, really kind of starting to make a little bit more sense. Where again, he's probably doing a gradual change of temperature because his fish room is not heated, and so as the temperatures start changing, it's a gradual change, like it would be in nature. It just makes sense because me working at the Imperial, at the dam out there off the Colorado River, there's a lot of waterways that branch off the main river, and those are pretty shallow. They're not very deep. They do have a constant flow of water, but the temperatures are still exposed to the ambient temperature. It's not like they have these deep pockets where the fish will be able to go and hide. And if they're surviving out there, that means that there's got to be something to this being able to acclimatize to that temperature, either drop or increase. And as long as it's gradual and prolonged, you're not going to have any issues. As far as what it does for the lifespan of the fish, you guys have been following me for a while. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. I think I'm going on maybe 4. I don't know. I have to go back and look. But they're pretty much the same fish that I've had since day one. I haven't really changed much, and they're still, at least some of these fish are at least that old, between 2 to 3 years, and they're doing fine. You do have some losses like every other fish room that's out there. Sometimes it's, maybe caused by us, but sometimes it's just you know, these fish are that are, excuse me, captively bred are so inbred that sometimes the genetics are not as good. But that was kind of it. I kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit of the mess that I have in here. I'm gonna start doing some water changes because we're going to be gone for probably about another 6-7 days, and I just want to make sure that the water quality is okay for the time that I'm not going to be here. And I'm not worried. I've done this plenty of times. I'm not concerned what's going to happen, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys that I'm still around. I've just been busy with the kids, and that I still have the fish room, and everything is, you know, no worse for wear, I guess. It's just still where it needs to be. But other than that, I want to thank you guys. I owe you guys a video on the fish food that I was testing. Well, I'll do that for a different video, and I've got some opinions on some of the products that I've tried out. So with that being said, I'll see you guys soon. You guys take care, and hopefully I'll see you. Once I get back, I think I should be back in town around the 25th or so of July. You know, I'll start scheduling some more of the live streams or some other guests that I'd like to be able to have on. I'll start reaching out to some of the people that had kind of agreed, but I was kind of putting them on hold because I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of free time to be able to do that. Plus, I wasn't going to do them here in the fish room. You already saw what it's like. It's 93 degrees in here. I don't want to sit in here and do that. And I couldn't do them indoors because the kids are there. The kids are going to play. They're going to be making noise. I just wouldn't be able to focus on being able to talk to somebody. I didn't feel that was fair for the guest, or, you know, the correct thing to do. So now that, you know, things will be going back to a little bit more of a normal schedule, you know, I'll be picking up where I left off. So with that being said, thank you. We appreciate all your support, and hope to get back onto a regular schedule pretty soon. You guys take care.